Hello everybody, Reggie time here, and before we can do any introductions, looks like we're getting straight into the action with 2-3 bet opportunities. So there we go. We didn't get any action with the first one. Probably will get action with the second one. It's kind of the way it goes sometimes. No, we didn't. And yeah, so this is Reggie time making a video for my YouTube channel. I haven't made any live play videos for like over a week or so because I've been mostly playing on Unibet, and it's difficult to find a way to make videos on Unibet that keeps people's attention for long enough because of the regular tables. People that play a lot of speed poker these days, people don't really want to watch regular tables. The pace of the videos are too slow, so I've actually put some money onto. I'm just going to call here, try and play a pot with a guy with less than 100 blind stack. So yeah, we're playing a session on 888 because even though I don't play that much fast fold poker, it does lend itself to the potential to make some more interesting videos, more things happen in a short space of time, which is kind of what people want when they're watching a video these days. They don't want to watch 3 or 4 regular tables where you maybe get 125 hands in the space of a 45-minute video and nothing much can happen from time to time. I was thinking of going for a check raise on this board with my backdoors. When somebody without a full stack just pots it and somebody calls, I think it would have been a mistake. We'll be interested to see what they turn up with, so we will fold and watch. I just think it's very clear that Fritsch has a hand of some value here. Who knows what his definition of value could be? It's just very obvious he likes his hand. You flop an open ender against somebody with a fish icon, which can be exciting depending on how aggressive he is with it. He does pot it. I'm not in love with calling pot size bets chasing draws, but the backdoor spades does help us somewhat. We're probably going to have to check call this turn now as well. I'm not going to try the semi-bluff versus somebody with the fish icon. Against a regular, I just thought I might try the semi-bluff sometimes, because I just think they're going to be careful of folding. But a key component of a semi-bluff is the fold part, and I'm not going to try and bluff somebody with the fish icon. I'm just going to take my pot odds, of which I'm getting really good pot odds because he hasn't bombed it, and go from there. And we do make the nuts. Now my question is, do I check to him again? I think when he half pots the turn, don't think he's as strong as his first bet would indicate. But I'm going to check and just hope to get a check raising. We could just lead out here. And disappointingly, he just checked back, which is a shame. Yeah, we could just have led out there on the river, just to make sure we got a bet in, to get paid by exactly that type of hand. But never mind, it didn't work out. I think weaker players are way more likely to empty the clip there than a regular is. A regular sometimes there would just like check back exactly that type of hand, whereas sometimes a weaker player might just continue to bet their top pair there. So I'm not going to be result orientated. I still think I like the check. It just didn't work out this time. If he ever has like a set or 2 pair or something like that, check's way better. We get to get the check raising, and he probably isn't going to fold it. It just didn't work out this time. There's no way I'm going to be result orientated there. I'm happy with the play. Try and flop a set. We failed to flop a set. Never mind. Let's see if I had a good shot. Just fold the fours. And we get called, and not the kind of board texture I'm going to try and run a triple barrel bluff on. So we'll just give up now. He might check back sometimes and let us just hit an ace or hit a 3. This isn't one of those times, so. So we flop trips, which is always pleasant. For some reason my number pad doesn't appear to work. Right, bollocks, I should have bet 90 then. I did want to bet 70 there, but if the number pad isn't working. Why isn't my number pad working? Quite annoying. What is wrong with it? Is it working now? Yes, it is. Who knows? Fritchie, 67. I'm going to quickly give him a donkey tag. Because, I mean, I could be very wrong, but it does seem to be taking quite a number of aggressive lines what I've seen so far. I think it's at least the second time, possibly the third time he's 3-bet this session already. It might just be he's got hands, but I think it's much more likely that he's doing something bad and aggressive. I'm going to call here because I don't think I'm going to get squeezed by a rock much, and I don't know anything about whatever the heck he's called. But I think I'm calling because I don't think I'm going to get squeezed too often. If I felt I was going to get squeezed too much from the blinds, I would have definitely made a 3-bet there, I think, rather than just fold the king 10 on the button. Fat and furious. Interesting there. Sounds a bit like the relationship I have with my wife. I tend to fart, she tends to get furious. Again, I could 3-bet this as a bluff sometimes, but against somebody with the donkey tag, we're just going to call. Because I just don't think we're going to get anywhere near enough folds. And we've bricked apart from backdoor value on the top left table, so we're just going to make a C-bet. I hope he folds something. And when I say we fold something, it's just there's like lots of hands that you will fold here, most of which we're ahead of, but we're happy just to have him fold anyway. I am being quite nondescript, there's just too many hands to go through. But for example, if he's got an 8-9 there or something, well, not an 8-9 because that's a good shot, but if he's got kind of just 2 unpaired cards, I'd much rather just bet myself and take the pot down and check to him and maybe induce him to bluff with it or something like that. So that's what I mean by that. Just have him fold his equity share. You won't see me waiting around to steal from the button with king 6 off very often. I'd much rather just quickly fold those types of hands and move on to hands that are much more playable. We need to call this 3-bet 6 blinds, but I think pocket ace is just too strong to fold in this exact situation. I could be persuaded to fold it if I was going to be out of position, but in position, I think we have to go for it, and obviously we get a good flop, but if he has what he's repping, we could be about to do a stacking. Hopefully he has the ace king. No, he doesn't have aces or kings, I don't think. Don't think he has ace king. I'm going to bet really small here. I want to get called by queens, jacks, things like that, if he's ever like c-betting them. I don't want to get caught by jacks obviously anymore. And again, going to bet really small here. And just try and get calls from all these 2 pairs and things. And we did elicit the call. And he had ace queen, which I guess we could have won a little bit more money from. But I don't think he always plays ace queen that way. I think he quite often will barrel ace queen. So my thoughts there was much more likely he had a pocket queens or pocket jacks. The river's a pretty bad card, was in terms of flush gets there, which means it had was to get paid, and jacks get there, which is obviously one of the hands that we were hoping called us on the turn. So it wasn't the best of rivers for us, but I still think we needed to make the value bet, even though I was like kind of sweating the raise coming, because I think we have to fold if he raises us. I still think it's a bet we need to make. I think you should have bet fold the river. I'm going to squeeze fold the jacks here. Well, I'm only going to fold it to dead through. I'm not going to fold them to either of the other guys. If they just like slow play their hand and then they get to get the back raise, that'll be fair enough. But I think Dirtrode, if he 4-bets in this spot, we're just going to be toast. And we're getting exactly what we didn't want, which is what's looking like possibly to be a multi-way pot. Which isn't really what I wanted. I just wanted to play the pot heads up, wanted to see a nice low flop and make my c-bet. But, instead of that, if we're going to flop top set on the driest board ever, well then, of course we're going to be really happy. I think one of these guys has to have some kind of pair. I would be very surprised if we don't get a call here. And we do get a call. And I think I'm just going to have to shove this turn out. It's just getting too wet. Don't want to be giving a price to hands that have a king, queen of diamonds or something like that, just to call. So I'm going to hope he has a hand like that, really. I mean, his float on the flop's really quite ambitious. But go us. I'll certainly take it. Always nice to run good in a video. Always nice. Well, it's always nice to run good in any situation, but running good in videos is pretty sweet. Again, the squeeze with the jacks, it's to the better players, well not the better, that's the wrong word, to the more experienced players that are watching these videos, that squeeze would be incredibly standard. But I know to a lot of the less experienced players, they would definitely struggle with a hand like Jack said. They would usually just call and look to, like, I don't know, try and get a flop that doesn't contain an overcard or something like that. I think the squeezes and these limits is absolutely mandatory because people will absolutely call with worse hands. And if we get 4-bet, we just have to make, usually have to make a solid, pretty tightish, pretty tight fold. It's not the best of spots, but it's not the worst of spots either. Just make a stab here with our flush draw. But yeah, loads of guys that come to me that I work with, they would never think of squeezing jacks there. They'd be too scared of getting shoved on or what have you. But I think we can just squeeze for value for sure. And if we get shoved on, just make the fold. Wow, we've turned a flush. We got called twice. And go ahead and start value betting. If we get raised, probably going to fold. You will hear me say that quite a lot. Bet for value, fold to a raise. That's because, especially on board checks like that with the 6, Jack, Jack 9, I don't think we're going to get check raised by a flush on a paired board. So if we do get check raised, people are just going to have the full houses a little bit too often, to my liking. So I'm a huge proponent of bet folding. I think it's one of the most important skills you can learn as a no limit hold'em cash player. You just learn to bet for thinner value and just get into the habit of, not into the habit of folding to the raises, but get the habit of respecting raises. Because there's a world of difference between somebody bluffing it off in a single raise pot when they have the initiative and then calling it off versus people who've given up the initiative and who are repping big on a board that where it's hard to be bluffing. Could be interesting. We're deep against Little Bob here. He's raised under the gun. We have 2 kings. It's not a spot where I'm looking to get around 180 blinds in pre. That's for sure. So be careful we don't give an implied odds here. So I'm actually going to make my squeeze at my 3-bet a little bit bigger. This is to reflect the stack depth at which we're playing. 100 big blinds deep, you'll be seeing we're making it 250 all the time. When we're playing deeper stacked, I think it's important that we make our 3-bets bigger just to slightly cut down the implied odds. We don't cut them down by that much. Which stack depth definitely, in my opinion, needs to play a part in our 3-bet strategy and our 3-bet sizings. It's something that I think is overlooked by many players that just do not take stack depth into consideration when they're 3-betting. To me, it's a pretty big mistake. If we're 150 blinds deep and we're just using sizes that we typically use when we're 100 blinds deep, I think we're not adjusting to the situation correctly. And I think it's definitely a mistake. If you're making that mistake now, if you want to talk to me a little bit more about that, please do reply on another video or reply on whenever you've seen the video at, because I think it's definitely, again, I'm going to use a similar sizing. In fact, I might pause the video in a second and go on and elaborate on that, because I think it's quite an important concept that many players don't consider. So yeah, I think we'll sit out. Just going to fold here when you see bets to 2 players, even though it's a dry board. I just think there's too much chance it's going to have 9s beat, so let's fold. So let's go back and find that pocket king's hand. Wherever it was at. There it is. So we are effectively, whatever that is, 180 blinds deep, is it something like that? 20 more blinds puts, yeah, about just under 180 blinds deep. So effectively, we're playing 60 NL here, not 30 NL. We're playing 30 NL in terms of how big the big blind is, but in terms of how much money's behind, we've both got around. Well, say we're playing 50 NL, given the stacks. So we're playing 50 NL. Because that's how much is behind. So we need to consider, in my opinion, this is how I think about it. It's going to be explained in just in the way I approach it. So people probably explain it better from a mathematical point of view. But I'm going to just explain it from how my mind works and how I try and help other people with this kind of thing. We need to treat it like we're playing 50 NL. So therefore, we can't just make really, really small 3-bets. And with that in mind, I actually think my 3-bet could have been a little bigger. I was playing 50 NL. And so we're going to kind of assume that he's made a min raise at 50 NL. So what would I have made my bet at 50 NL? Had I been facing a min raise under the gun, I probably would have made it 350. So I think even though 350 would have been 4 times his open size, I think 350 would have been a much more appropriate size. The problem I give myself with bet 350 is if he 4-bets me, I've kind of committed an awful lot of money to the pot, nearly 12 blinds, and I wouldn't be that comfortable in proceeding. Again, I know people can say never fold kings pre, and I'm one of those people, but that's assuming 100 blinds. So we can get to 200 blinds deep. If we make a large 3-bet and then he was to, I don't know, say we 3-bet to 350, and he was to then go and make it, I don't know, 10 or something like that, I think we could seriously consider folding there at that point. Do we really want to get 180 big blinds in pre with pocket kings? Again, some players, absolutely. But I don't know anything about Little Bob whatsoever. It's from Belarus. It's probably means he's a good player. And would he be 4-betting queens, for example, to that size? Really doubt it. Really, really do doubt it. Bluffs, what bluffs can he have? No, so I think 350 would have been the play there and fold into a 4-bet. Unless he made it absolutely tiny. Would have been the play. So yeah, that's how we should do it. Once we get to like double 200 big blind stack sizes, imagine you're playing like, if you're playing 25 ml, imagine you're playing 50L. If you're playing 10 ml, imagine you're playing 20 ml. And then think, what size would I make this 3-bet if I was playing 20 ml instead? And then use that as a way to actually choose your bet sizes, rather than just do the usual. Oh, hey, there's a 3x open. I'm just going to make it my usual 8x or 8.5x or whatever, or 7.5x, whatever you normally use. Just bear in mind that we are deeper stacked and our sizing should really try and reflect that. Okay, so hopefully I've explained that well enough. If you're still a little bit confused, or you think you need to explain it a little bit, I need to explain it better than I did, please do get in touch and I'd be delighted to try. Now you can see that I've opened the 7-5 suit from the cut-off here, but I'm going to fold it versus the under the gun open. Just goes to show the value of raising rather than calling, I guess. If you've been check raised on this board, I mean, anything other than calling here would just be, in my opinion, really quite bad. I was hoping to pick up a 6 or a 3 or something. I think I'm just going to let this go now. We're not getting anywhere near the correct odds to call. He could easily have a better flush draw than us, and Cameron's in jail. Chasing 7 high flushes when someone's showing that much aggression. But all we can do really is just call the river if he bets again, because all we can hit a flush and raise. I don't think our implied odds are that great there. So in that case, I'm just not happy to fold, but comfortable folding. Sorry if I've been a little bit more sniffly than usual today. For those of you who don't know, the reason my voice is a bit gravelly and the reason why sometimes it can be a little bit sniffy is because I used to work in a detergent factory environment, and I was once exposed like to a shock exposure of washing powder and dust and enzymatic stuff, and it has kind of eaten away at my nasal membranes and vocal cord. I didn't sue them because at the time I was young and staff. No, I wish I had done, but never mind. That's life. Yeah, so that's why my voice isn't always as it should be. See, this is what we just talked about. He's given me way too much of an enticing price to call. He was super deep. He's asking me to put such a small amount of money into the pot relative to our stack sizes that I just get the opportunity to just play a pot with him in position, and I get to decide all the time when money goes in, when money doesn't go in. Or not all the time, but a lot of the time. I'm going to continue betting around half pot, even value from 7x, good shots, 5x. You're going to elect to pot control this turn against Fat and Furious. If he checks again, I'm probably going to bet just to protect against the further club coming in case he's got a hand like Kings or Queens club. I'm going to call this one bet, probably fold the river. And we're just going to check back here against Little Bob. And he made 2 pretty ambitious floats against us there. And when he bets this size, I think I'm beat here a lot of the time. Again, we're not going to 3-bet here against someone with a donkey tag. Just going to call. But he's giving me such a good price, I don't think we can fold here. We're getting like nearly 5-1 on a call. We're beat most of the time, but you know, sometimes that happens and we get to chop it up. And we get squeezed, which is unfortunate, but it's only ace-9, so no biggie, we just fold it. I apologies for the sniff there again. I didn't finish your point, I am actually somewhat struggling with a little bit of a cold. Nothing too bad, I'm sure I'll live, but it's quite annoying. I am trying to mute them out as much as I can. I've got the microphone mute button in my hand, but sometimes they just appear without me realising they're going to appear, which is probably more infuriating for you guys than it is for me, but it still gets on my nerves because I know it's not a nice thing to listen to. So many players I don't have tagged anymore. It doesn't take long to not play the games. It just goes to show just how enormous the pools are. And I used to have these pretty much every player tagged at 13 or 15 when I was grinding these games regularly. And now it's got almost nobody tagged, which I guess is a good thing in a way because it means they won't know me either. Go up to 3-bet Ace King versus unknown under the gun. I think if a 3-bet it, the question is do you want a 3-bet, 5-bet shove it? Which I don't want to. So is 3-bet folding going to be too weak here? I don't think it is. I think 3-bet folding is going to be just fine. So I normally don't wait for hands like King 9 off to a steal from the button with, but if I'm doing something else that gets to the button and it gets to a point where I can just make a steal and I go ahead and do it. It's not that I don't like to do it, it's just that usually I'd rather just cycle through the situations. We see bet and we miss our good shot on the turn, so we're probably just going to give up at this part of this board texture, and we are going to see bet on this green dry board on table 1. Probably going to double barrel any, well we don't need to, we're just going to double barrel any Broadway card there and give up on anything that wasn't a Broadway card. Do we try and bluff here? I mean, he's taking a pretty weak line, so it's going to be unfortunate if he called with an 8. I expect him to call with an 8 and stuff here. But I mean, I just wanted to try and make you fold some ace high draws and things like that. Maybe you fold to 6 sometimes. We did get the fold through. Maybe we had the best hands, who knows? It seems unlikely we had the best hand though. I think we just probably made him fold some ace highs and some like weakish pairs. I'm really quite pleased with how I played this session. It's been a good session. Feel fresh. Sometimes I burn out quite quick when I play these games, which is why I don't play them as my regular game these days. I enjoy playing them from time to time, but I think everything with poker gets a bit samey. I mean, after I've been playing on Unibet for like 2.5, 3 weeks now, and I'm kind of starting to get a little bit antsy with that now. The kind of thinking, really, maybe this is what I need to be doing with my poker, just mixing it up. Sometimes playing speed poker, sometimes slowing down, playing regular tables. It's not that hard to get bored playing poker sometimes, especially if you see the same skins, the same sites all the time, the same names of the tables. Maybe it is good. I mean, I've usually been a big proponent of spreading my bankroll around a few sites to give myself options. Lately, I've kind of been reining that in a little bit, and I've only had 2 sites. I've had to put money back onto Triple Eight to make this video, but I was starting to think maybe it was a little bit hasty with that. Maybe you see better here. In the Queen 10. Wow, we got some action. This is actually really quite an interesting spot. I'm just going to call, and then if he shoves, we're just going to have to call it off. I feel really quite ill about the whole situation. But I'd much rather do this and give him the opportunity to shove with his ace king or something than if I go all in and he only really ever calls with just aces. So that's why I've taken this line. I will feel pretty sick if he shoves. Wow, top set again. We are running hot with the sets. That was a very interesting spot there. Check back here. Kind of tied out a little bit, lost my train of thought because of that hand. Wow, that was a 6 spot. Glad the king came. No idea what you can just cold call with there. I want to go back and look at that because I'm really not sure about my sizing. Really not sure about it. It's a very unusual situation. So let's go back and take a look, because that could be one of the most interesting hands. Flops I'd get to all year, I would imagine. If we get to the flop, just remind if we opened ASO 3-bet and you called 4-bet shoved for like $13. And we were left in the situation first of all. In fact, let's play it back properly. Oh, bollocks. Do it this way. Do we open, get 3-bet? I think the first question here is whether to 4-bet shove or not. And I elected to call. Because if I get, my reasoning was if we shove here, yeah, we get to isolate Amutis, of course. But I think ASO can only continue in the pot with 2 aces if we shove here. Nothing else can continue. He cannot call it off with 2 queens, ace king, 2 jacks, something like that. I mean, it's not a spot I want to get all the money in. We are like 200 blinds deep. But I guess this dead money here makes it, well, not dead money, but this extra money in the pot just sometimes compensates for the times he does have aces. This gives us better odds for that money, that type of thing. Wow, it is interesting. I still think my decision to call was right, because then at least it gives him the opportunity to, maybe if we call, we can rep jacks or something, give him the chance to just like ship it with his ace king, and then we can just get to call. I think his range for shoving when we flat is just that little bit, not a lot wider, but just a teeny weeny bit wider than his range for if we shove it all in, which I think, unless he's an absolute maniac, he's going to fold everything except aces if we shove. Whereas if we call, he can maybe sometimes just decide to shove pocket jacks. Sometimes he can decide to just shove. I don't think he shoves jacks very often, but he can just decide to shove aces, shove queens. So shove ace king and shove queens. Both of which I think he folds if we jam ourselves. So yeah, happy with my decision to call. I think it's the best decision. And obviously flopping the sets, just wonderful. But now what do? We've got like a pot size bet left. We've flopped the nuts. But there's draws out there that you can't really have, to be honest with you. And what draws can you truly have? Ace, queen, diamonds, maybe. I mean, this is still in the pot with jack, 10 of diamonds. Of course not. Well, you wouldn't think so anyway. Queen, jack, and diamonds. So if it's nut flush draws, I guess he could potentially still have. Yeah, sizing wise, it's really awkward. Because at first, if I remember correctly, I went for like a bet of 9. But then I looked at that and thought, can we give people exactly about us to draw if they do have draws? But in hindsight, I think I rushed it. In fact, I definitely rushed it. But in hindsight, I think I like the bet of 9 better now. Even though he folded that quickly, he's probably folded to any bet, but I think checking would be a mistake. I just don't think he's ever. I don't think he's got anything that's going to bluff at this point. Well, I went for 14, and I think 14 is a horrible sizing. Yeah, I think I prefer 9 there. 9, or really small at 9, 8, something like that, or just looking maybe just shoving and just hoping that he, I don't know, he's somehow slow playing aces or whatever. I don't know. It's a very unusual spot. And the fact I'm looking back now thinking I didn't play it as well as I could have. I'm not going to be too sad about it. It's such an unusual spot. Even if I did make a mistake, it's not like it's a mistake that I'm going to be making, that repeating very often. This is maybe the first time in a spot like this in maybe 6 months or more. So it's not like it's if I did make a mistake, it's a mistake that I'm going to repeat over and over again, session after session. So yeah, it's something I can go away and think about and try and work up. And next time it happens, absolutely, I can learn from the hand. But I'm not too concerned if I have made a slight mistake, because it's not like it's going to be a really big leak that's going to be costing me on a daily basis. So yeah, I think with that in mind, I think it's a good spot to end the video. Actually, really interesting hand, some interesting discussion to end the video on. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making the video. It's nice to run like Jesus. And yeah, please do get in touch if you'd like to talk to me about getting some help with your game, or any spots that's popped up in the video. Please reply wherever you find the video. Poker VIP, Reddit, Poker Market, YouTube, whenever you see the video. If you want to talk about anything that's in the video, please just leave a message and I will get back to you, I promise. That's all for now though. Thank you very much for watching. Take care everybody and be lucky. Bye bye for now.